Today I'm going to be explaining to everybody why the GOP is going to control the Senate forever if they play their cards right. As you can see here, it's a very bare tie basically going on in current year 21, but there's an election coming up, and first of all, I'll give you a half-assed prediction as to what will happen there. So let's assume that we have one Senate seat go red, Mark Kelly loses. Let's also say that we flip Warnock seat in Georgia, and that'll happen, right? And then let's say we flip one of the New Hampshire ones, and as you can see here, that'll take us up to 53, and then let's say we win, what else is winnable? We win Nevada with Adam Laxalt or somebody like that. We'll flip that, and so we'd pretty much end up with 54 to 44 after 2022. So that's pretty good. Now, let's keep thinking about what'll happen after that. So in 2024, we have West Virginia coming up. Joe Manchin, or whoever is the nominee for the Democrats, is almost certainly going to lose at this rate. So you can say that is going to be a fully red state. So that's up to 55. And then we look at 2024. There's going to be Ohio. Ohio is probably going to go red. Sherrod Brown will probably lose Ohio. Then if we look at another state that has an election, we have Montana, which will go red as well, obviously. So that's going to be 57 to 41, plus 2, Bernie and Angus King over here. And then in 2024, Arizona has an election as well. And I personally think that that's going to look pretty bad for Republicans. I think that Kyrsten Sinema could very possibly win, so I'm not even going to flip it. But going forwards, we have another election in Minnesota, in which I believe is potentially flippable, but I don't know yet. So I'm going to keep it blue as well. Wisconsin is going to have another election, and I assume that because of its shifting right wing, it'll also flip. And then in 2018, we're going to have Debbie Stabenow, if she keeps on running again for Michigan. I assume that somebody, John James, whoever, will win in Michigan too, right? And then in 2022, we had Toomey. And in 2024, I think Bob Casey Jr. will be up for re-election, in which case we could definitely win, assuming he doesn't run again, but we don't know. But for the meantime, we'll flip that red as well. And at this rate, another election that's coming up, I think not in 24, but I think in 26, we can start talking about other stuff. Now, in 24, there should be another Senate election in Nevada, which could very possibly go red. So you could see red Nevada in 24 and blue Arizona. As stupid as that sounds, it's completely realistic. Okay, now already by 2024, we have up to 61 seats in the Senate. Okay, so things are looking really good right now. And this is mainly because we have a lot of states like Montana, West Virginia, and other holdouts like that, okay, that are really screwing us. Now in 2026, okay, we're keeping the map as is for 2024. Moving on to 2026, we have Ossoff in Georgia, who's probably going to win. I'm assuming Georgia's going to be far to the left of where it is now in 5 years, so that's just very safe. New York is not flipping. Massachusetts, it's not flipping. None of these states are flipping, quite honestly. I don't think Virginia's going to flip. I don't think Colorado's going to flip. New Mexico, like Hail Mary, like 1 in 100 could flip, but probably not. None of the northwestern states will flip. California will not flip. Hawaii screwed. Illinois is stuck. So that's what we're thinking about right now. Now, in the future, like in a decade or so, maybe if we keep shifting Minnesota right wing, like how we were in 2016, we could probably flip 1 seat and then eventually 2 seats in Minnesota, right? And then eventually we should be able to win all of Michigan if it keeps trending right, like how the Rust Belt has been. And then if we run a really good campaign in 24, we might win against Sinema. So that would be a full Arizona delegation. And then let's assume that we also flip New Hampshire at some point in the future. That's possible. And then if we look at a place like Maine, eventually we could replace Angus King with a conservative or, a weak Republican like Susan Collins. And then Alaska's going to be full red as well. Okay, what else is next? This is basically what I believe could happen theoretically if we have a very good election turnout. If the GOP really handles itself well, this is what could happen. Now, I'll probably fill the next ones out by probability. Okay, so I think New Mexico would probably flip next, and then it'd be probably Georgia, then it would be Virginia, then it would be Colorado, and then it would probably go. This is an interesting predicament I'm in. Okay, Oregon, then Washington, then Delaware, then New Jersey, then Connecticut, then Rhode Island, then Maryland, then New York, then Illinois, next California, next Massachusetts, next Hawaii, Lamau, and then next Vermont as well. So this is how we can keep the Senate R100, right? But that's bullshit. You already saw what I showed you. We could very possibly get the Senate to 60 seats in 2024 if we run our cards right. If we win approximately 54 seats in 2022 and then max out in 2024, then we can definitely win the Senate 60 votes. I mean, that's fucking insane, right? That's awesome. So that's why we'll keep the Senate forever. And if you look at the trends here, in the future, all the blue state, red state Democrats are going to lose eventually because of partisanship and polarization of the vote, right? So Montana Democrats are screwed. It's over for them. Ohio is trending red. Places like Kentucky will not have Democrats. North Carolina eventually won't have any Democrat, being very viable. Texas has to hold its ground as well. So, I mean, it's looking very good for the Republicans in the Senate, and not necessarily for the general election, but, when we're talking about the Senate chamber, we're doing fine. So we could definitely in the future have a fully red Michigan delegation, Ohio delegation, Pennsylvania delegation, West Virginia delegation, Montana delegation, Wisconsin delegation. Iowa's already red. Minnesota is a further one, and then we can max out in a myriad of different places. So we could have a full slate delegation out of 30 states of Republicans, right? So this is what we have to think about. The Senate benefits us, even though immigration is making the country more blue. It's disproportionately going to California and the South over here, Southwest, and not necessarily the Rust Belt, which is going to stay really white and old, which is prime demographics for Republicans anyway. So that's looking pretty good. And because of that fact, I do think that theoretically, if we win by a lot in 24 and in 22, then we will have an extremely powerful Republican Senate. So we'll be able to confirm virtually anybody, as well as get maybe a filibuster-proof majority for a lot of crazy stuff. And I think that'd be kind of epic. So this is why I think the Senate will be solid R going in the future, and it's going to be lit.